G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Azza Whitnell and this is Azza Sport, and Portugal have won Euro 2016. Now, talk about 2016 being the year of the underdogs. Let's face it, who actually had Portugal as their winners? Because I think even in Portugal, not too many people were expecting this. It is a fantastic achievement, albeit at the same time, let's face it, it hasn't been the smoothest ride for Portugal through this tournament. I mean, really, if it had been any other European competition before this, Portugal would have been out at the group stages. They finished third in their group. But this year, obviously, in the Euros, there was this new rule that 4 of the best third-place teams would go through to the knockout stages, and that has benefited Portugal. They are the first team in European Championship history to go to extra time 3 times in the same tournament and still win it. And they only actually won one game in 90 minutes, which was in the semi-final against Wales. So talk about clawing your way, or not necessarily playing well, but still winning. Portugal were the definition of this in the European Championships. But who cares? They won it. At the end of the day, any Portuguese people out there, fair play to your country, fair play to your team. You guys are the champions, and enjoy it whilst you can. Soak in every single moment and bask in the glory that the likes of Ronaldo has worked so hard to get throughout his entire career. And I've got to be honest, at one point I really didn't think that he was going to get his hands on this trophy in the final. Football almost seems to have this hoodoo against him and Lionel Messi. Everyone keeps on comparing them to the likes of Pele and Maradona because Pele and Maradona won international tournaments, and everyone seems to think that that is what you need to do in order to be crowned the best of all time. But hey, Ronaldo has finally got his hands on that trophy, even though he probably didn't get his hands on the trophy the way he would have wanted to. Because, he would have wanted to have played that entire game. Anyone who knows Ronaldo, the professional, you just hear him in his interviews, you talk about him wanting to be the best and go down in history in certain ways. It definitely wasn't the way he would have wanted. But at the same time, you could see how much of a leader he was being on the sidelines. You could almost see certain traits of Sir Alex Ferguson in him with the way he was barking and yelling at the players and really inspiring them. And it's something that a lot of the Portuguese players after the game were saying really helped them move forward. Now, Ronaldo only had 8 touches of the game in the final, but he was pretty much the reason Portugal were there anyway. So he's played such a monumental part in this. But in terms of the final itself, just look at who won it for Portugal. Eder, again, talk about year of the underdog. This is a guy who has never scored a competitive goal for Portugal, comes on in the final and gets the winning goal for their country. He now goes down in their country's history and will always be a hero. So, to be honest with you, Eder, you might as well retire now and really bask in the glory. But just to give you an idea as to how much of an achievement this is for him, and just shows you how magical football can be. This is someone who couldn't make it in the Premier League. He couldn't even make it at Swansea, and the teams that he's gone on to from there, again, he's really struggled. So for him to get this winning goal, and a fair play to him for continuously battling, even though things haven't always gone his way throughout his career. For me, my man of the match in the final was Pepe. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal at the back, an absolute rock. Yes, he did get turned for that Gignac shot that hit the post, but aside from that, nothing really got past him, and he was the leader on the pitch, where Ronaldo and obviously the manager Santos on the side were really trying to spar the players on. And again, you're talking about individuals and how unique this achievement is. Look at Jose Font, the Southampton defender. He's become the first player in history to win the Johnston Paint Trophy and the Euros. Again, just a fantastic underdog story. We've seen the likes of Jamie Vardy this year, Riyad Mahrez, Kante, coming from teams that no one really has heard of before or are quite low down in the leagues. And again, with Jose Font, we're seeing these players who have started off at lower levels really rise to the big occasions. And I think it's a beautiful thing to see in football. And hopefully, I know that obviously there's a lot going on in the transfer market, and trust me, there's going to be videos on them. But hopefully there will be some more risks taken on players that not too many people have heard of, who are clearly very, very good. They're just, unfortunately, maybe not at the best kind of suited clubs for them to really show that potential that they have, or maybe they just haven't been given that chance in their career. But I just think it's a fantastic achievement for Portugal. Congratulations to them. As I was saying, the Euros in itself wasn't the most interesting championship of all time, I don't think. I think that reflects when you look at there was only about 108 goals scored at the tournament. Compare that to Brazil, and I know people are going to say, well, there's 24 teams at the Euros, 32 teams in the World Cup, but that was a tournament that everyone just fell in love with because there were so many goals, there was so much attacking football. Whereas in this, we almost saw that because so many teams could qualify without actually winning a game, more teams were playing for draws, and it made for duller games. So whether or not this is a project that worked in terms of having teams finishing third and going through, I'm not so sure. Really interested to hear what you guys think. But with regards to the managers as well, again, it relays into the management of the teams. And when you look at Portugal, Greece are really going to hate this. The fact that their last two managers who they've sacked are Claudio Ranieri and Fernando Santos. They've both gone on, Ranieri to win the Premier League this year and Santos to win the Euros this year. So clearly, whoever is going to be the next England manager needs to be the next manager that Greece sack. Because, hey, in 2 years' time, Russia, who knows, we could win the World Cup. I'm only joking. But, real kind of sucker punch for Greece there. But, hey, fair play. I mean, when you've been sacked after coming off the back of bad results, these two guys have bounced back as well. So, yeah, like I was saying, I really feel that this Euros, as much as it hasn't been the most entertaining one of all time, I do think that this is, again, just like the Premier League, and we saw with the Premier League, I think this has almost been an underdog story at these Euros. I thought Iceland and Wales, for me, they were my two favourite teams in the tournament, just going back over the entire thing. I know that obviously Portugal won it, but to see how proud their countries were of them, that is what international football is all about, making your country and your people proud of you, and the performances they put in just epitomise that perfectly. And of course, I think football is now going to be synonymous with that incredible Viking clap that Iceland are famous for, and also from Northern Ireland and their fans, the old Will Griggs on fire chant. I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think that'd be pretty awesome to see him in the Premier League, actually, if anyone does buy him. I think it was a shame he didn't get any minutes on the pitch, but hey, at least he's got arguably the most famous song in world football now. Sadly, obviously, this tournament was marred by lots of fan travel, and it does worry me as we head towards Russia. And all we can hope is that moving forward, people are just a little bit more sensible. But when you consider that a majority of the issues that were caused by fans at the Euros was by the Russian fans, then yeah, this is something that I think FIFA, UEFA, all major governing bodies in football do need to look into when it comes to the World Cup in Russia. Because if not, we could see a lot more very disgusting scenes from fans, which is something that isn't needed in football. Because as the Irish showed, it should be about celebration, and I thought they were absolutely fantastic as fans. With regards to players, my player of the tournament was Antoine Griezmann. He deserved, obviously, he got the top goal scorer award at the Euros, but I think he really bowed France out on a few occasions in this tournament, and I think he's got a very exciting future ahead of him. He's already had a fantastic career so far. I feel gutted for him that he's been the runner-up in the Champions League, in La Liga to a degree, finishing just behind Real Madrid and Barcelona, and also now at the Euros. But he's so young, still really, early 20s, and to see him progress over the coming years is going to be something I think very exciting for European football. So yeah, exciting times ahead. But yeah, congratulations to Portugal. Congratulations to Ronaldo on finally capturing an international trophy. That kind of gets the old Pele and Maradona hoodoo off of his back. And where do you think this puts Portugal in world football? Do you think Portugal are going to go forward and potentially win a World Cup from here? Do you think they're good enough? Do you think that this was just like a one-off, like we saw with Greece? And where do you think Cristiano Ronaldo now sits in the history of football? Is Cristiano Ronaldo now regarded as the best footballer of all time because he's finally got his hands on an international trophy, something that his arch-rival Lionel Messi has not been able to do yet? Please, let me know in your comments below. I'm Asa Whitnell, and trust me, there are going to be plenty more videos coming up soon because I'm back from all my travels, but at the same time, there's so much news to talk about. So yeah, please keep tuned, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys again soon.